What's going on, guys? Hope you're well. It's regsounds, or Greg if you don't like my producer name. Got a very quick mixing tip today. I'm going to try not to talk for a million minutes. But we're going to be talking about the idea of dynamic EQ and creating space for different elements in the mix.
That sounds good, Reg.
If you're not familiar, dynamic EQ is like a regular EQ, but with compressor parameters, meaning it's time-based, and depending on where the threshold is, you can dynamically, instead of statically, accentuate or attenuate frequencies. And it's super useful, which I'm about to show you in a sec, is let's say you have a guitar that's really present in like the 2.5K region, but your vocal is also present in that region. If you have those two elements that are very prominent at the same exact time, you can definitely get by without a dynamic EQ to create space for each other. But say that guitar is just crowding the vocal too much. What if every single time that vocal is hitting, it ducks down 2.5K out of the guitar just when the vocal is present? Because the guitar sounds good otherwise, we just don't like how it's sounding when the vocal is present. You can do that with dynamic EQ. I'm not an engineer that thinks you need to have any plugin. I don't think you need anything. However, dynamic EQ used in this fashion has proven very, very helpful for me on numerous occasions. So I'm gonna show you how to set it up.
All right, so welcome to the project file. This is a relatively pretty big project file. We got however many tracks, 109, still not done mixing it, but I'm about to play for you the track so you can get a feel of what's going on. It's very high energy, very 80s, very action-packed. This is for sync, so hopefully we'll get this landed in some type of commercial or advertisement. But I'll play this for you so you can get an idea of the track, and I'll explain what I want to address and the problem areas I'm hearing. So I already did it. I already did the processing, but I will walk you through exactly what I did, and I'll do a little A/B and test so you can hear the difference. So my thought process here was we have a lot going on. It's very action-packed. There's a lot of synths. There's a lot of reverb. So I felt that these chords specifically were interfering with Josh's main vocals, specifically in like the low mid to lower mid range. And every single time he came in, I just felt like they were competing. If I closed my eyes, I just felt there was a little bit build up in the chords that was taking away from his vocal. And the vocals got to be up front. This is a very energetic pop song. So I'll play for you just the chords. And here's Josh.
Take me somewhere so exciting, new adventure all around the world, all around the world.
I gotta fix that. I clipped off poor Josh. Come on now.
All around the world.
There we go. That's better. Sorry, Josh. So my thought process was the chords are getting in the way of Josh and the effects that I sent to Josh. So what I did, you can see here, I have a Josh vocal stack with a little woo. I did a little bit different processing on the auto-tune, so that's why there's a separate track for it, and the main vocal. And I grouped these all together, and I called it Josh. Then what I did was I grouped all of Josh's effects. See, we have a Josh verb, a Josh tape, a Josh radio double. These are just the effects that I sent onto Josh's main vocal. And then you could see I have an all Josh track. See, when I click on the all Josh track, it encompasses everything that's here. It encompasses Josh effects and Josh. So it's basically two stacks in one, which is all Josh. And I could play just Josh.
Take me somewhere on a journey.
And I can mute Josh and just play the effects. So the all Josh track is just creating one track that encompasses everything together. So if I mute all Josh, you're not going to hear Josh's dry tracks, and you're not going to hear his effects. And I did this because when I duck down the frequency that I want in the pads, I want it to not only affect Josh's dry tracks, I want it to also affect the effects. I already did it, but I could click on all Josh, and I could flatten the stack. So this is what I had previously. So if I want to combine Josh's dry tracks and his effects I basically just clicked on Josh, and I am command clicking on Josh effects. And now I'm going to go Shift Command D, and it's going to create a summing stack. And that is what all Josh is. It just knew that I already did that, so because I didn't delete the track, so that's why the history is still there. So if you see, all Josh is bus 42. That's what Logic created for me. This is important because when I go over to the chorus pads over here, and I insert, you guessed it, the dynamic EQ, there's a sidechain option. Basically tells the dynamic EQ plugin what to listen to and what, depending on the parameters that I set, what to bring up dynamically or what to turn down dynamically. So I created the almighty Josh track and I selected bus 2. That's what the plugin is listening to. And then as you can see over here, I created band 3. And this is basically that region that I felt was just getting in the way of Josh. I will play everything together so you can hear what I'm talking about, and I'll bypass what I already did. There's still some stuff going on. I just felt in general in the low mids just needed to be cut out, not sidechained to Josh's vocal, just statically. And I am doing a little bit of a shelf only in the side information in the very, very top, around 8K. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to A-B what the dynamic EQ did on band 3. That is basically taking out 754 hertz. I got a pretty narrow Q, and I'm cutting a lot, and you're going to see this work, and I'll really go into the weeds, and we'll listen to some differences. All right, so this is before. On. I just felt that in this region, which you could literally solo, this was getting in the way of Josh. And so what I did was, again, I selected Josh, his grand almighty effect bus, and his main vocal, the Josh bus, as sidechain 42, bus 42. That's what the plugin's listening to. And then I go over, I kind of sweeped around, I kind of just went like this. I was like, what do I not like? What is competing with Josh's vocals? Well, I stopped right on it. What's competing with Josh's vocals? I landed that it was 754 hertz. And I see this over here, sidechain source. If you set it to internal, it's going to duck down based on the level of the track itself. I want it to duck down based on Josh. So over here, sidechain source, I turn it to external, and now it's listening to Josh. You could solo the band as well. So if I solo the band and I have it on internal, it's going to just play the chords. If I change it to external, oh, because I don't have Josh playing, but it should be listening to Josh. Hope this makes sense.
Take me somewhere on a journey, new
it's listening just to the chords. Now it's listening to Josh's frequencies. Let me give an example if I went the other way and I didn't want to attenuate, I wanted to accentuate. You would hear, and I'm just now going to play Josh and the chords so you can really hear what's going on. This is what I have going. I have a negative 12.9 range, and this incoming signal under the threshold is representing Josh's signal. I'm pretty aggressive here. If I went the opposite way, if I went in a positive range, listen to what happens.
Take me somewhere on a journey, new adventures all around the world, all around the world. Take me somewhere on.
Now, every single time Josh comes in, we're going up in that range. That's the opposite of what we want. But this is a dynamic EQ plugin. You have freedom to go wherever you want, because sometimes you do want something to poke out when something else is introduced. So it's a really powerful tool. This is only in the mid-range. Think about the type of things that you can do sonically all over the frequency spectrum. You can't get too carried away, but you also can. It's a very intuitive tool, and you can really get into the weeds and sculpt your sound like no other tool that I find is out there. And it doesn't have to be Waves F6. It's just what I bought. I think it was like 20, 30 bucks. You could also, I have this set to stereo mode. You can also dynamically boost or cut depending on the stereo field. So you could do this just in the mid information over here, or you could do it in just the side. So you can get really in depth with the shape of your sound. And when you think about it, really what is it? It's just creating space for varying elements of your mix as they arise in the mix. You don't have to do this on every single thing. Could I get away with this with just volume? Probably. But I like doing this because I think it gives a little bit of a ebb and flow to the different relationships in the track. And so I'm a big dynamic EQ believer. I hope this helped you out. I hope this added a different perspective and ideology to your mix. I hope you use it when you feel like you need to use it. Because if you didn't know it's out there, now you know. If you like this video, if this made sense, if you like the way I talk or explain shit, consider giving me a subscribe. That would be cool. And I also release music myself. I also am a producer, mixing engineer for other artists. But I just dropped myself as an artist a little remix cover EP. It's called You Like This. You can listen to it wherever you check out music. Hope you're doing well. Take care.